Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Everything Horror Podcast with your host, Paul Doski, and the lovely fiance,
Tessa Baker.
And we are joined today with, if any of you guys saw the post that we did, where I said something along the lines of, if you haven't heard of the game known as Song of Horror, which is being developed by a studio called Protocol Games, and it was on Kickstarter, I want to say almost like 4 years ago, 2013, I believe. Carlos, who is our special guest from Song of Horror, can probably help me better clarify things too. But I was once a backer for their Kickstarter that ended up failing, unfortunately, because it's definitely got a unique horror style, which not really that many horror games nowadays even, I guess, per se, have it. Because normally with a horror game, single player, just to clarify, you only sometimes get to play one or two characters. Well, with Song of Horror, which we will probably get into a little bit, Song of Horror, you can control up to 16 people. That's a lot. And let's find out more about that too while the interview goes on. But for now, I want you all to get introduced to Carlos Grupeli. Please tell me I did say that last name right again.
Hello. Nah, you said it right.
Good. Carlos, so if you wouldn't mind telling a little bit about yourself and how you got involved into Song of Horror and Protocol games, that would be great.
Sure thing. The truth is, I didn't study specifically to be a video game developer. I mean, it's just a path that life happened to take me on. When I was in high school, I had this friend, which is now my partner, and we'd always talk about how we wanted to make some games, how we had some crazy wild ideas, and fast forward 10 or 12 years, and we did had gone our way. But we were still in contact, we were still friends, we were, and one night, having, as it normally happens, having one beer too many, we got we got to talk and say, hey man, how about this making video games thing that we used to love? How about we give it a go? I mean, right now we don't have really any family responsibilities as children, and we got to thinking and thought, man, if we don't do this now, in the end we're never going to do it, because we're not going to take this kind of risks when we have, for example, children to take care of. And we were talking several more times, and we decided, hey, let's do it. I mean, it was our childhood dream. So, okay, if it goes badly, then we can say, hey, we did it. We fulfilled our dream. Didn't go as planned, but at least we did it. And if it goes well, we can make a living out of this. And so we embarked. That was, we started October 2014, and the Kickstarters were in 2015.
Wow. That is some... I mean, man, I'm trying to remember how I even heard of Song of Horror, but I want to say it was Kickstarter, because I know after a while when you back certain projects, Kickstarter will be like, oh, hey, uh, this might be for you or something like that. And I think that's how I found you guys. And I mean, I remember looking at your Kickstarter page for a while, and I just like the idea that it's the 16 characters, permanent death, where death can happen at any corner, any time,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, just something about it, like especially the sample track that I'm gonna use for the beginning of this podcast, the A Glimpse into the Dark. That's probably one of my favorite.
That one, yes.
Yeah, that must be one of my favorite music samples. Beside the other two that were on there, I just don't know what about it, but it just catches my attention every time.
Yeah, our musician will be glad to hear it. The guy has put tremendous effort into making exactly the music that we want, that we think would fit the game, and I think he has done a nice job. Really.
I am gonna have to agree with that. I just really feel bad that your Kickstarter didn't make it, because I kind of was hoping to get like the soundtrack, because I am a big fan of soundtracks when it comes to games or movies, and I can only imagine what you guys have in stock really for music wise for the game.
We will do our best to release the soundtrack separately.
Oh, good.
We will try.
Well, I will have to keep my eye.
We'll see what we can do, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because, I don't know, there's something about music, to me, it's almost like a therapy, where you can just get lost in the music kind of deal, and I feel like Song of Horror, with the way you guys, and especially you want the music to fit the game. So I can only imagine just listening to it without playing the game, like what type of atmosphere it can create with just the music alone.
Indeed, I think it happens to all games, but in this particular genre, music and sound are like, maybe 50% of the entire game. It's something.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing about music is when it's good, you don't tend to notice. It fits in so well. I mean, you only notice when you after playing the game, you think about, hey, I think the music was pretty good, yeah. But when you're playing, it blends in so well that you don't really notice. And when it's not so good, then you notice and you say, hey man, what is this?
No, I hear that. It's almost like the music doesn't fit the environment. So yeah, so of course you're gonna be like, hey, what is this? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's a bit like the programming. When the programming is good, you play the game. But when it's not good, you find bugs and your progress gets hindered, and then you notice. It's a bit like that in that regard.
Yeah, it can happen to anybody. I mean, it's just one of those things. The one thing I will throw out there too before I give you the first question, Carlos, is I'm still kicking myself for not downloading your demo back on the Kickstarter, because it would have been really interesting to play what you had already when you offered the demo anyway for Kickstarter. I actually tried to see if that demo was still available, but it's not. So it's like,
it's not. But don't worry, we plan to release the game at some point this year, and that demo, the demo we released back in the day, is atrocious now.
Okay.
I mean, compared to what we have now, it's just atrocious.
I'm glad to hear that, actually.
we back in the day, it was all we could do. and we were proud of it. But the game's come a long way since then, and we look at it now and say, "Holy shit, man! Did we really make this?"
Well, hey, that's what counts. We interviewed another guy who started out at a small studio who was making a VR game and a non-VR game. And, I mean, before we interviewed him, if you look back at the very first 30-second trailer that he had for his game, it's a start, I'll say. Like, it wasn't really polished enough, if you get what I'm trying to say, Carlos.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
get it.
yeah, but then now, like, he's shown me, he brought out 2 other trailers since that first one, which was probably almost 2 years ago. And the graphics alone have improved so much. And it's actually available right now on Steam for early access. And
What's the name of the game?
It's called a Haunting Witching Hour.
Witching Hour, you said?
A Haunting Witching Hour.
Yeah, Haunting Witching Hour.
Okay, let me check.
Yep. It's $5 American, so I don't know what that is in Spain money, or are you guys using pounds?
It's €5 here, I see.
Okay. Yeah, we talked to him a lot, and the guy who runs the studio who does the make the graphics and stuff for the game. We're trying to help him out make a better game too. And he's come a long ways. I mean,
indeed, I'm taking a peek at the screenshots and it looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he been on our podcast, and his interview was like 3 hours and 30 minutes. But I mean, we had a lot of information, so it was good to learn how a game was created for VR and non-VR and stuff like that. I don't want to go full blown, but for anybody listening, you guys can go back to, I believe it's our season 3, episode 2, when we interviewed Don from Enyx Studio to talk about a Haunting Witching Hour. So if you guys want to check that out, go for it. I can even drop a link in this podcast too, if you would like to check it out as well.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, so, Carlos.
I mean, I don't have any... Is it a VR game?
It is a VR game, and it's a non-VR game.
You can play without VR?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have any VR device. So...
Well, I had to use tax return money that the U.S. does to get mine, because, you know, it's almost like you're buying another PS4 or whatever with the cost of the bundle that I got. So yeah. But so Carlos, the first question for you is, what got you into the horror genre?
We've been fans of horror since we were in high school. I mean, my partner and I, which as I said, met in high school. We used to go to each other's house and play horror games until the until the small hours of the morning. We would play our Resident Evil games, Silent Hill games, Fatal Frame, anything. We just love to play horror games. Then we branched out into reading horror stories, and I mean, it's something that we've always liked. And we decided to do a horror game because 2 reasons. One is that because we love it, and the other reason is because given the limited budget that we have, we think we need to choose a genre that in which a good idea could have the highest returns without the need for a huge investment for technical
difficult.
stuff. For example, if we were to make a shooter, a low budget shooter, we think has quite has less chances to be a successful game than a low budget horror game. I mean, there are some genres that low budgets go better with,
Yeah. I mean, I with that new trailer that you guys put out when back in October, that was
or Halloween teaser. You see it?
yeah, I did. I saw the difference, and it's incredible that for one, I'm gonna say I'm really glad that you guys kept going with the game, even though the Kickstarter failed. So that's one thing I want to say, that I know it failed, but you guys kept going with it, and that makes me happy because I would love to really play this game, and because it has my attention, and it's very hard sometimes for a horror game to really grab at me, but your game grabs at me for one, the permanent death, and two, the 16 characters, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but I just wanted to just quickly say, I really have high hope for your game, and I can't wait to play it whenever it comes out too. So.
Well, thank you. I mean, for us, Kickstarter was we said, okay, if we succeeded at this Kickstarter, then we don't have to. Well, at least we don't have to worry too much about the money going forward. But since it failed, we had to secure our money elsewhere. In our case, it was more like family loans, and things like that. But okay, so we said, okay, we didn't we didn't make it. What can we do?
Right.
So we were lucky enough to have families who could lend us money to finish the game.
Yeah, that is good. And like you were saying too earlier, is it's a dream. So
Yep.
You guys will do anything just to see the dream come true, which that's awesome.
Indeed. In fact, as a proof of that, not me nor my partner, we're not perceiving wages.
Okay.
For the whole development, I mean, we're working for free.
Right.
The employees get paid, but we don't.
Wow.
So, well, it's just, I mean, it's what I said before about this being the time when you have a family to take care of, you can't afford to do this.
No.
But right now, okay, it would be very good to to earn a salary, but we can make do without one, at least for a time.
Well, you'll have your family down the road soon enough, as you may not think. So there's always time for a family. So you just gotta just make it happen down the road, just like like your game. And I mean,
exactly.
And I mean, right now, even just listening to you, Carlos, it sounds like all you guys focus really is just getting the game done, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's your dream. You guys want to make a game, which is amazing. You guys are doing a phenomenal job with the graphics. I just can't wait to see the full game and how well it has come to be. Because like Like,
Well, we can only hope. We're doing all we can to make sure the experience is polished. We're going chapter by chapter, saying, okay, well, what can we do to make this chapter feel alive? To have unique events that will draw the player in to ease the players in, so they know what they need to do, uh, what are the stakes, to get them involved in the story, to make them not get lost with the controls or with the layout of the map. I mean, that's what we're focusing most now that we are more or less in the final stages, is the player experience. And well, I hope we get it right. We think we're going to get it right, but in the end, it will be on the players to judge that. And well, I mean, the release of the game doesn't imply that we're going to stop working on it. If things need to be polished further, we want to do that. We want to make the best game possible.
that's awesome to hear. And I'll say it again, you guys deserve it. When you guys release it, you guys deserve it, and to get it out there. And I really think a lot of people will enjoy it. It's because it's a very different type of horror where you don't really see it, like in your sake with the 16 characters and stuff. I'm gonna keep mentioning that probably, but I've never heard of it.
Yeah, that's one of the points we're most proud of. We want, we want the 16 characters to feel different, and we want each loss to matter. I mean, like, for example, you play Super Mario and you get killed. Okay, you lost a life. It's no big deal. We don't want our characters to be taken as lives. They are, but we want each one to matter at least a bit.
Okay. I really like the, like I said, I really just like the idea. What do you think of the idea of 16 characters and all that?
I think it's actually pretty neat, honestly, and I can't wait till the game's released so we can get to experience it firsthand
And have fun with it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Carl, Tessa here has another question for you.
Sure thing.
So, what inspirations sparked you to start the Song of Horror?
I think the inspirations are many. We have, for example, in the video games, in the video game front, our biggest inspiration is the 1992 Alone in the Dark, the original one.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's a game we loved as kids, and okay, it's not that we're trying to bring it back as it was, but we want to draw on the inspiration from that game, the things that made it unique, and we want to, bring them to the modern times, let's say. Also, the games that we played as teenagers, such as the old Resident Evil, Silent Hills, and Fatal Frames, and any game that we have played like that has its own influence in the game. And we also draw from the classic horror masters such as Edgar Allan Poe and Lovecraft and M.R. James and people like that. I mean, each one has a particular element that we want to include, that makes what they tell us, that makes their works cause fear. We want to draw from what causes fear and use it to scare the players and to tell a good story.
Oh yeah,
It's very clever.
it is clever, and I say for a horror game, you definitely want to get a good story, because otherwise, the game itself might not like it may be fun, but the story definitely needs to hit the player for sure. And
We agree 100% on that.
so,
In fact,
go ahead.
we thought the story. We created the story before we started working on the game. I mean, the game is a servant to the story. That's our goal, not the other way around, you know?
Not creating the story while making the game is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah.
The story came first, and the game has to adapt to the story.
I like it. Which, speaking of the story, so, Carlos, I don't know if you'll be able to say it, but if not, maybe you can give us like a short version of like a hint or something or whatever. But what is the idea behind playing the 16 different characters?
There are several ideas. I mean, okay, as we said in the Kickstarter, the game is divided into several chapters. In each chapter, you get a particular set of characters to play. For example,
Okay.
first character. In the prelude, you get to play as Daniel, the protagonist. Daniel is basically a low-level employee of a book publishing firm, and his boss sends him to the house of a famous writer that is the most important client of this publishing house, because the guy needs to turn in to submit the drafts of his latest books, and he hasn't done so. He's missing. I mean, it's like dude, go to his house and see where the fuck he is. I mean, ask his family or whoever. It's not meant to be paranormal right off the bat, you know? And, the guy goes there. He finds out that there's not really anyone home, so he takes a peek. And he ends up getting lost, so to speak. All while hearing a strange melody, and that's it. That's the prelude. You end up seeing him get lost. Let's leave it at that. And chapter 1 takes place like 2 days later, when several characters arrive at the house. For example, one of them is Daniel's ex-wife, who was supposed to meet with him, but he didn't come because he was lost. So given that Daniel has, for example, Daniel has never ever missed an appointment in his entire life, she said, okay, maybe there's something fishy here, you know? And she goes to the house to find him. Then his boss is another of the character who also goes to the house because he's the one who sent Daniel there, hasn't heard from him, and he still needs to find the writer. So he goes to the house too. And the other two characters are one house employee who just has been away on family-related issues, and he lives and works there with his wife. They are the two, household employees. And he goes back to the house and sees that no one's there. So he wants to find, the writer's family and his own wife. And the last one is an electrician, an alarms technician, who is sent to the house because, the power has gone off, and so the alarm has been tripped. And to check. She's sent there to check what the hell was that about, and warn the police if need be. And you pick whoever of these characters you want, and you start playing.
I like this.
That's the idea behind the several characters. In chapter 2, you will have another situation, and we'll have people arriving at where the chapter takes place, and that's the idea. Some of them will be, more important to the story than others, and let's say that they'll get brought into the main storyline. Or not, depending on who is alive and who is dead.
Is it possible to kill everyone before finding out the truth?
No. For example, as I said in the first chapter, you have 4 people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You pick whoever you want. You play. If you die, you then have to pick one of the remaining guys or girls. If you lose all 4, you need to restart chapter 1.
Oh.
Oh,
wow.
I mean, as long as you don't lose them all, you when someone dies, you pick another character and pick up where they left off. You don't lose progress. But
I like that.
If all of them die, you need to restart the chapter.
That's pretty clever.
We're doing this because we want deaths to matter. Not only, as I said, because you may have gotten to like the character that you were playing as, but because when you are close to finishing a chapter, you're on your last character. I mean, the tension that you feel, and we have tested this ourselves, is huge.
Yes.
I mean, say, okay, if I die, I need to not make any mistake, because if I do, there are consequences to losing your characters. I get to repeat everything, I mean, the second time around, it's quite faster, of course. I mean, if you get killed right before finishing a chapter, you will know most of the things you need to know to do it again,
Right.
So it's not meant to be a soul-crushing experience, but it's meant to be a punishment.
I like it. I definitely like it.
So you will have to restart the chapter, and you will go faster than the first time, of course, but you still need to do it. And because the presence, what we call the AI that is in charge of putting you in danger and scaring you, it's an AI that kind of does what it wants, The dangers and scares, you won't have them in the same places. You cannot learn, they're going to scare me here. No. The presence is going to do that when it feels like,
So, is it kind of like, what was it called? Like, Carlo, did you ever play Alien Isolation?
Oh, yes, we did. We played it at the office, in fact.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes after work, we order some dinner and play some horror games, all of us, together. And Alien Isolation was one of the games we played this way. We loved it.
I really loved that game. I felt it brought the horror back for Alien, which it desperately needs.
I think it's the best Alien game that has ever been made.
Yep.
And wow, that one scared us. Yeah, it did. Oh
yeah, but I guess the reason why I brought that up is because is your AI we'll just say for people that are listening, like the boogeyman, we'll just say just for they know what we're talking about. So is your
what you're asking, I think, is if there's something that's chasing you around.
Yeah.
It's not exactly that. No. The presence is a more paranormal entity. Let's say.
Right. But what do they call it? So okay, so when with Alien Isolation, right? When they made the alien in the game, they made it unscripted, meaning they made it do whatever it wants to do. So is that pretty much what your
Yep.
entity is doing too? Like it can do whatever it wants.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's pretty
It has
cool.
a series of systems that govern its behavior, but apart from that, we're not going to say, hey, here do this, here do that. I mean, there are predetermined events, of course, but most of the things that happen to you are procedural. So you will find them whenever and wherever.
Damn.
The dangers that it can throw your way, it can do so whenever it feels like, and it depends a bit on also how you play and how you're progressing. We want it to adjust itself depending on how you're doing. I mean, if you're rushing through the level, it will be. I mean, you will enrage it,
Yeah.
And if you're having problems progressing, it will, put the foot.
It's gonna know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to give you some slack. Not much, but it's going to take into account that you are not progressing, and it's going to give you to cut you some slack.
So I guess to kind of to get a little bit more about this entity, just a little bit. Now, did your entity, did it go by sound? Did it go by like if you're quiet, the entity won't really know where you are, or is it gonna know where you are, but it's not gonna attack you just yet? Like with Alien Isolation, if you're noisy, that alien is gonna come and rip your face off. So.
Something like that, but not as not as explicitly as in Alien. I mean, you can. I think maybe you could compare it to a sleeping dragon.
Oh, okay.
If you're making noise and, well, I mean, for example, if you go everywhere running is more dangerous than walking. I mean, we want you to run when you need to, but not willy-nilly.
Right.
If you are running and rushing through the level, you're going to draw more attention to it.
Oh boy.
To yourself. And if you are progressing slowly, it will not be as angry, so to speak.
Okay.
I mean, it's we don't want to talk much about the presence itself. I mean, that's for the place to discover what it is or what it isn't. But let's say it's one of the protagonists of the game,
Right. Yeah.
The antagonist in this case, but has its own logic.
I like it. Yeah. I feel like with entities or any type of creature, like per se that alien, if it's not scripted, you can make it do so many good things, like so many interesting things, rather than be like what you were saying earlier. Oh, well, if I open this door at this point in time, it's gonna scare me. But
yeah, I mean, we have those kinds of events, but I mean, we have some of them, but they're not the majority. I mean, we want to have these kinds of events, even to mark your progress, to make you feel like you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't want to let you to get bored.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
To that end, we have some of these predetermined events, but other than that, we're letting the person do whatever he wants.
I like it. I'm like just finding more of this is just making me can't wait to play it even more. And on that note, so because of the title, Carlos, Song of Horror. Now, I know we were just talking about music, how music is a big thing when it comes to games. So this question is, does the music have a big role in the game as well because of the title? Or
Well, it does. I mean, I mentioned in the prelude, Daniel hears a strange melody. The entire game is about that melody and what happens when you hear it. You know, it's connected to all the bad things that happen in the game. So yeah, the game is about a song, and the music. Well, it has the importance. Apart from that, story. That story significance. We Our music in our game has really the same purpose than in any other horror game.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very, very important part of the game, but not because it's called Song of Horror. That only means that music plays a part in the story itself. But, because as we discussed earlier, it's a fundamental part of the genre.
Okay.
Both music and sound. Yeah, you will have some events and dangers related to the music, yes. To this melody.
Well, keep it up, the good work with that music, and especially the idea of the game. Keep it up.
So,
Thank you.
So Carlos, how many people work for Protocol Games?
Right now we're 4 people.
Impressive.
It's me, my partner, our artist, and another programmer who also programs the sound. We got lucky with him. And our musician works externally for us. And, when we want him to do something, we say, hey, Manuel, he's called Manuel, can you do this for us? Say, okay, yes. And then, he's an external worker. At one point, we've been, we're like 5, but one of us it works externally. At one point, we've been 9. We, our publisher, Badland Games, was able to hire 4 interns to work with us, to work in modeling and character animation. So for I think 1 year and a half, we were 9 people.
Wow.
We started being 2. Then our main artist came in, so we were 3. Then the musician, and then we were 9, and we are 5 now.
Wow. So
It's been like a roller coaster of people.
I was just about to say
going
that.
in and
I was just about to say that. Like this sounds almost like a roller coaster.
yeah, indeed. We have the people that we can afford. Really, our budget is not very high. we would have liked to be more, because I think the game we're making would require like 15 people to
get the job done.
Not have us, we working 50 or 60 hour weeks. I'm speaking for us, the partners. The employees have normal working hours.
Right.
But the 2 of us, it's taking its toll on us. I mean, the work weeks are very long.
Well, you're doing a phenomenal job, at least, and pretty soon you'll be able to.
All that hard work will pay off.
Exactly, it's gonna pay off.
Thank you. We'll hope so. I mean,
you gotta keep that head up.
All your life like this,
Well, you gotta keep that head up.
Okay, this is our dream. This is our project. Let's do this. But if we consolidate ourselves, I mean, it's no problem if at some point we need to work a lot. But we would want to have more normal working hours. more or less normal work week, you know?
Right.
Maybe 50 hours a week, it's okay. More, I mean, it can be done, but it takes its toll on you.
It does. Any job technically really takes a toll on you,
Or,
but I mean, um, but yeah, I mean, if you're working 60 hours a week though on one, we'll just say maybe like one thing, whether it be programming or animation or polishing
yeah,
up your
anything.
game. I mean, it still takes a toll on you because
Of course, and well, this job is mentally, I mean, it's mentally demanding. I mean, you need to be on your best game, you know? You don't get to drawn on automatically. You know, don't get, it's not, it's not like that. You need to be on top of your game. You need to be
clear-headed.
able to think clearly, you know, to be mentally active. You cannot, cannot go on autopilot.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. And that's why you, like, I'm assuming, like, that's probably one reason why even now you're glad it's a holiday, because it can help you clear your mind while spending time with family and not have to,
of course. I mean,
not stress yourself out.
We try to at least these major holidays we try to be with the family and with friends. And I mean, if we cannot really be 24/7 thinking about the job or on the job, because if we do that, we're not going to to make good decisions. You know,
That
we're
too.
going to be so tired. Rest is important for work too. I mean, this is an obvious statement, but we need to have a clear head to make good decisions.
Exactly. So I know you guys, like I mentioned, because I backed it a long time ago. You guys had a Kickstarter. It failed back in 2015.
Yes.
And have you guys ever thought of actually redoing a Kickstarter?
For this game, at least, no. I mean, we found out that our Achilles heel was exposure. I mean, where we didn't manage to make ourselves seen. You know, we also found out that when people found out about our game, they were. I mean, it was a game that had a good response, you know, from backers, and but our problem was that not enough people got to see it before the campaign was over. Markiplier, the YouTuber, made a video playing our old demo, and the video came out like 24 hours before the Kickstarter, and before the Kickstarter ended, and it was like a huge surge of pledges, you know. We knew then that our problem was purely exposure, and really without the marketing budget, we were not likely to fix that, you know. For a third attempt, it would happen the same thing would happen. And so I said, okay, we just need to be more known, you know. For the amount of money that we're asking, we need to have more exposure. And well, also running a Kickstarter campaign is a huge effort. I mean, for the month or so that it takes, I, who was the one that ran it mostly, didn't get to really work on the game, you know.
Right.
It's a huge psychological. That's really a huge psychological roller coaster. I mean, sometimes you're so sure, oh, we're gonna make it. The next moment, say, oh man, we're not gonna make it. I mean, you can ask anyone that's run a Kickstarter campaign. It's a hard thing to do. And after the second Kickstarter failed, we were a bit drained of that psychological energy that you need,
Well,
We
yeah.
say, okay, we are not saying that we will never come back to crowdfunding, but for this game, I mean, our our strength just has run out,
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd ask the question because another developer who was creating a game failed the first time too on Kickstarter, but when they came back a second time, they actually succeeded their goal. So that's why I was just wondering if you ever had any thoughts of possibly trying again.
Yeah, I mean, we did have that thought. We failed twice at Kickstarter.
I didn't even hear about I didn't even hear about the second one then. I only knew about the first one.
Maybe the in 2015 our first Kickstarter was around like June. Yeah, it was in June. That one we failed miserably. Then we returned in October, I think, late October, and that one got a lot closer, but it also failed.
I wonder if that's the one that I pledged on, the 2015 one then. Was that the second one then, the 2015?
Yeah, the second one is the one that we asked, I think was 50,000 euros.
Yeah, so I think that was
2015.
Yeah,
That was the second one already.
Okay. Huh. Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, said the first one, okay, we're going to try again. But when the second one didn't make it either, I say, okay, this has run its course already, we just can't afford to fail over and over again.
Right. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize, you attempted it twice. Huh. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's why it was psychologically so hard. I mean, it made us question everything. I mean, okay, dude, are we doing the right thing? Do we have a game that people want to play, really? Then, when Markiplier put out his video, it answered one of these questions for us. We found out that, that people who knew about this game would likely want to play it, but the problem was that not enough people was hearing about it,
Well,
and we really didn't know how to fix that.
Yeah, well, that sucks. That sucks.
That sucks, but it sucks. I think it's the sweetest possible failure, because at least we had the proof. We had proof that
people want it.
A market niche for a game like this. That people, if they heard about the game, they wanted to play the game. They would be interested in the game. So with that, we couldn't quit. With that proof that we that we had come into possession.
Right. Well.
So we decided to go forward, and then we went forward.
Well, darn. But still, it's still a shame. I mean, it probably took a toll on you guys either way because, you were hoping to maybe succeed the second time around and then it didn't. So, like you were saying, you don't, are you making a game that people even want? But then with that YouTuber, you guys are doing something. Which I might have to go find this guy later on and watch his video of your demo since I can't do the old one anymore.
Yeah, you're welcome to. I mean, if you search Song of Horror on YouTube, is the first video that comes up.
Yeah. But let's see. What was I going to say, too? While I'm trying to rephrase my thoughts, I'll have Tessa give you the next question, Carlos.
Of course.
What ways can we expect that something is near us?
Meaning
in the
like,
game.
yeah, meaning like the entity. Like, what would
What are some like triggers or like signs or sounds?
Oh, don't worry.
Oh boy!
You will be aware that something's up. You know. I mean, the entities. We were talking about alien isolation. The presence doesn't really work like that. It's not a physical thing
Okay.
that is chasing you. You know.
You're right.
It's kind of everywhere, and it you know, for example, you can be going your merry way around the house, and the lights start flickering. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And the character starts thinking, "Hey, what's happening? You know, careful, danger." And okay, then you know, and then some of the some of the light bulbs go off. Boom! They
explode.
I mean, don't worry. You will be pretty aware that something.
Yeah, we'll definitely know something's hunting us.
We'll know something.
Or you may be, you know, walking around the house, and then suddenly that door moves, or you hear an eerie sound that wasn't supposed to be there, or then oh, okay, you have our Halloween teaser in front of you. Can you access it quickly?
I do not have it in front of me, but I can find it quickly. Yes. Let's see here. Come on, YouTube. Do Song of Horror.
Yeah, for example, second 19.
Alright, where is it? Not you. No, not you. Here it is, Halloween teaser. Alright, so it's in front of me.
See that door?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that can happen to you suddenly. I mean, suddenly a door starts going like that.
You see it?
And you need to block it.
Huh.
You need to prevent it from opening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Those are the kind of combat that we have.
Based on what I'm seeing, I can't believe, like, that Kickstarter failed for you guys.
I'm not hearing you very well.
I said based on what I see in the teaser, I can't believe that Kickstarter failed you guys, because that, from what I see,
creepy as hell.
It looks creepy as hell, and it looks really good.
I mean, to be honest, our Kickstarter video and demo was far below this teaser.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it looked like it looked crappier, and the exposure problem was our. I mean, at any point in time in Kickstarter, there are a ton of projects and some of them are pretty good. And well, Kickstarter has had its flops and its big profile projects that have failed to deliver, and well, people are more wary of Kickstarter nowadays, and can't say I understand it, you know?
Right.
And the exposure thing is the big problem. Unless you have a big YouTuber or all the media covering you, people are not likely to even know about your game. Doesn't matter how it looks, you know?
Yeah.
So
what helps a lot with your trustworthiness is to have made a game before, so people know that you're capable of completing a game and bringing it to the people. And we find it pretty normal. I mean, okay, you say, okay, these nobodies, maybe they take my money and don't do anything. Maybe they deliver us some shit, you know? Pardon me the language.
We
can say that.
You can swear on here,
say that
Carlos.
that we don't get it, you know?
Right. Don't worry about swearing, Carlos, by the way.
Okay, you You don't know what you just said.
But we do. I know exactly what we just said.
Yeah, if you listen to any of our previous episodes that we've done, we
have no filter on our mouths.
We have no filter.
Okay. Okay.
So do you believe that the Song of Horror has improved over the past 2 years?
Well, yes. If it hadn't, we would have been, twiddling our thumbs, and we and we haven't. So yeah, it has improved, not only in the graphics but in the understandability of the game. I mean, if you play that old demo, you will be thrown in the middle of in the middle of a house with no warning, no tutorial, no guidance, no nothing. We're trying to get a more streamlined experience, so that you, in the prelude, that in the beginning of chapter 1, you get to know all you need to know, and we're putting up features so that you don't get lost. For example, in that demo, you didn't have any way to orient yourself, and right now, for example, you can bring up a map that keeps updating as you explore. So we don't want to lead you by the hand, but we want you to know, to have the tools to not get lost, to enjoy the game and not be frustrated, because if you're like me, I mean, I can get lost in my own bathroom, So if you're like me, there are certain features that are likely to help you. I mean, they're not going to solve the game for you, but at least you can have an idea of where you are, or maybe where you need to go, where you can,
Yeah.
It's not like a glowing line that marks the way, but tools to help the players, and more information, so that we need to make sure that the players understand what we wanted to do, and to have good clues for the puzzles and enigmas, to have the clues they need. I mean, not like we're telling you the solution to the enigmas, but we need to make sure you understand what you need to do, and this takes more work than it would seem,
Right. Speaking of which, I was reading on the old Kickstarter, Carl, that you actually, not only are you part of, I think, oh God, before I, completely just, destroy what I'm about to say, let me double check this thing again. I know you're a writer, you helped write some of the game, per se. And what else did it say? Oh, you did production, game design, and story. You did programming, writing, PR.
Yep.
And you do the social media management, which is why we're talking today. But, so this next question is, what parts in the story of Song of Horror did you write? Or can you not really give much detail?
I'm the main writer, so mostly everything that you find written will be written by me, and everything you find in social media, the same thing, My partner, who can also write, is writing the dialogues mainly. And because I haven't had the time, and he's good at it. But the rest of any text you find in the game will be written by me.
That's awesome. So technically then this game is technically your baby. You're making it. You wrote it, so you're
me and my partners.
Yeah,
me and my partners. It's our baby.
Yep. Yes. So, see, yes, you do technically have a 100%. Family.
100%.
Awesome.
As we are four or five people, we need to do many things each, else it's impossible. And it's it's part of the reason, like what I said to you at the beginning, that sometimes on social media we don't answer
for a while. Yeah.
For a while, yeah. In due time, we would really need to be more on top of our game, but it's not no justification. But I hope it serves as an explanation to why sometimes it can get a bit messy, you know.
You mean replying back? You mean to people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, or just saying things. I mean, for example, I would make a post on social media, then have to log out to do something else, and then, well, if I get any message, I might not see it till a few days down the line. And okay, I'm going to try to be more aware of
messages and
of
stuff.
the messages we get on social media, but I mean, it's for all of us, it's like that. We're just juggling several balls at a time.
Well, yeah, well, that's understandable. I mean, the more focused you are in the game, the faster you can get it out too. So, I mean, I think what you're doing is pretty fine, like good enough. I mean, even Facebook tells us that, hey, you got reply within a couple of hours or so. So it's not like we expect you to reply right away, but at least I didn't.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's something that I need to improve, and I own it, you know.
Yeah, but I think your game is more important too to get it out there too.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, something it just slips my mind. Hey, man, log on Facebook and see if there's anything up. And I say that to myself, then forget about it because I'm working on something else, and it goes on and on and on and on. What?
Well, it happens. It happens. Like, I recently missed the fact that a game on Facebook actually tagged the podcast in because they found our well, I tagged them in it on Twitter first. I believed I even tagged them on Facebook, but I didn't see that they reshared it, and so it's just like, oh crap. Like, here it is almost 2 weeks later, and I finally see that Facebook now tells me that that they've reshared this thing. It's just like, oh boy. So I kind of
also crap moments we have them sometimes too, you know.
Yeah. So Carlos, for your game, now how long has Song of Horror been in development?
It's been since October 2014.
So almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years, but we have to say here that when we started, we were, man, such newbies. Not that we're much more knowledgeable now, but we've learned a lot. Basically, the game could have done in like a year less than we took because we didn't know anything when we started. The first year was pure learning, and everything we did has ended up being scrapped, you know, or having to be remade because we didn't have a clue of what we were doing. We have been learning by trial and error, and there are many things that we have done in inefficient ways that could have been done, you know, faster or more solidly, you know. I think we're good now, but it means that there's a ton of time that we lost along the way because we needed to learn what we were doing first. we jumped we jumped in the pool without knowing how to swim.
Right. I mean, that's like our buddy from that game we were mentioning to you earlier, A Haunting Witching Hour. He he'd been working on this game for 1 or 2 years now, and when they first brought it out on early access, or actually, let me go back. When they first released that very first teaser trailer, which is like a 30-second trailer, they kind of got bashed on that. But so then that was their way of learning. Like, oh, okay, like this we shouldn't have done. Like, we should have waited. So.
Yep. It happened. It also happened to us with our first demo. When we released it, the controls were atrocious. I mean, atrocious. It was. I mean, for us that we were used to it, it wasn't so bad. But for people who hadn't played it ever, it was nearly unplayable, and we got flagged for it. I mean, hey man, these controls are shit. I mean, the backers were very diplomatic about it, but the game, I mean, it was really bad. My partner spent 1 month or so just fixing the controls, you know?
Wow. Now, how did the controls feel now, though? Like, do they feel a lot more better? Has anybody really that had not played the game tried it out and give you feedback?
I mean, yes. We've had people play the game. We've been in some local events, and
you guys were also featured in the magazine.
We know now that the control doesn't necessarily get in the way. You know, there might be things to tweak here and there, but mostly the control issue is solved. I mean,
good.
Being a cinematic third-person game, you always need the control. You need to get it spot on. I mean, the system itself does not work with you. You know, it's for example nothing like in a first-person game where you are the camera. You know.
Right.
Right now, we need to take a lot of variables into account, and but I think right now the control is the best it's ever been, and it doesn't get in the way anymore. I think.
Good.
Pending feedback, of course.
Well, good.
Carlos, are we going to be able to play an updated demo version of the game anytime?
Yeah. At some point, yes. We can't say exactly when because we don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we want to hide anything, but we would want to, if it's possible, we want to release a demo of Chapter 1.
Okay.
So people can get an idea of what they're getting into, and or maybe not even Chapter 1, the entire Chapter 1, because we have what people normally take to finish Chapter 1 is maybe 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours. So maybe a shorter version of that, so that people can get a taste of what they're going to play. We would like very much to put it out and gather some, last minute feedback. It would be we're going to do our best to have it out. And I cannot guarantee it 100%. It will depend on how we are on time, because if we're going to release a demo to the world, we need to get it translated to English, because we're working in Spanish primarily, and it can for an entire chapter it can take 10. It might take time that we don't have. We will do our best. Can't guarantee it, but we really would want to do it. Yes, at some point this year. I mean.
Well, I'll have to keep my eyes and ears ready.
When we release a demo, we'll announce it everywhere we can.
Good. I'll be hopefully one of the ones trying out the new updated demo, since I couldn't try the first one. But all right, Carlos. We got one more for you, and then if there's anything that we haven't asked you that you would like to share, you can have the floor, as I'm going to call it. But for your final question tonight, for us, I should say, is for the fans and the new fans that are yet to come, when could we possibly expect the release of Song of Horror?
Like a rough...
hard one to answer. It will be this year. We need it to be this year, you know. So we can say it will be this year. It will be either
fall. You can always say
either
fall.
in spring or right after summer. Those are the two windows that we're working with. It depends on how everything goes.
Well, at this rate, I think you guys will make the well, for me, I'll just say the summer goal would be right on point if you guys do what you were saying too, work as much as you can, especially if you avoid social media for a little bit, which I'm just saying, it's fine. It's fine, because you don't really want to get...
we're not going to be full-time on social media, of course. We will update everyone and every now and then. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a dedicated person to do it.
A dedicated person to help you with the social media?
Well, those are the two windows, either right before summer or right after summer. Those are the two windows we're working with right now.
Okay.
It also depends on our publisher.
I can't wait, Carlos.
Our publisher.
Yeah.
And the console port.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it.
The game will release on PS4 and Xbox One the same day it releases on PC. So we need to make sure that the portings are well made.
Well, I can't. Like I said, I cannot wait, and I'll be getting your game on PS4. Oh, I just thought of this, Carlos. So, is your game gonna be a digital only, or is it gonna also have a physical copy?
That is truly up to our publisher. I mean, we would like it to be. We would like for it to be either some kind of physical version. We can't guarantee it. Where we would like to, but it's in the end it's up to our publisher. We really don't have a say in there. We can express our opinion. Hey, we would like this, but in the end it's up to them and what they want to do, or or
something. Yeah. Yeah, either way, Carlos, I still can't wait for this game. I mean, I've been following you guys ever since the Kickstarter that I found back in 2015, so I was almost close to finding you guys at the beginning, which what you said was 2014, so I was close. I was pretty close.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised. I mean, looking back, we really are glad to have received the support that we did. Even if we didn't make it, we found, a set of people who were very supportive, very interested about the game, and we are very grateful for all the support we've received thus far. I mean,
you deserve
even
it.
If the Kickstarter failed, we got that, and that's great.
Well, you deserve the support. I mean, I'll say it again. You guys are making a unique horror game that is different. And at first that was going to be a question, but then I was just like, well, everybody should know that this already sparked that it's different. 16 playable characters, permanent deaths as well.
The permanent death is something that we hadn't... Well, there are some games that implement it, but... we think it fits like a glove for the horror genre. I mean, what's more horrible than losing a character permanently, Not being able to load the game and he or she is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, makes you be more on your toes, and knowing that if you mess up, this character is going to be gone for good, I think it's a natural fit for horror.
And yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I just really impressed with the Halloween teaser that we got 2 months ago. I did notice that I think you got rid of the original trailer off your YouTube too, because it's now just the Halloween teaser.
Indeed. We did, because I mean, within the difference so big that people seeing the old one is not doing us any favors, you know.
So you felt it was time to let it go to show us. I'm assuming the new footage, technically, or the new polished game that you guys now have. So that's kind of like what what you're at right now. I want to say.
Yeah, because the old trailers show an outdated version of the game, and I think it's people are, might get the wrong idea. You know, if they see that and don't see the new one, or they're going to think that the game is something that it's not. You know, that is in a state that it's not, and so we decide to substitute them with the newer one.
Well, I like that. It to me that even though I'm not really good at marketing, but if I were in your shoes and I had to debate on that, to me that seems like it would be a good marketing system because you don't really want people to fall back on that old trailer because it's not what it is anymore as well. But you kind of want. Go ahead.
I think we want people to know how the game is currently. It doesn't help anyone, not us nor them, to see an outdated version that doesn't represent reality. You know.
Yeah. And so Carlos, is there anything that you would like to throw out there that we didn't ask you, or do you feel like we've covered everything?
Yeah, well, I think we covered pretty much the basics very well. I don't know if there's something else you are interested on. I can talk about it, of course, but I think we did a good sweep, you know.
Yeah, I think we covered enough. I just didn't know if there was anything that you would like to share or something that we didn't cover. So that's why I was just asking if there was maybe anything that you had in mind that if you would like us to know, we could hear it from you. But
I don't think there's anything on my mind. Let me think a bit.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, not really. I think we
pretty much covered.
We did a good coverage, you know.
Yeah. The only thing I can maybe suggest is what was that magazine? Because I know it was Spanish, but what was that magazine that your Song of Horror was featured in? I think it was on the cover. I think.
Yeah, it's called Micromania.
Well, that's awesome.
You were asking about the name of the magazine, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as kids we used to read that one. It's one of the oldest here in Spain, and it was a proud moment for us to be featured in a magazine that we used to read as kids, as teenagers, and well, it really was a very good moment for us. Yes.
Well, yeah. Was that your first magazine coverage, technically?
Physical one, I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Well,
let's hope that it's just the first of many. Let's hope.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, Game Informer here in the U.S. will cover your game one day.
Yeah, we will be proactive in trying to get media to cover us, of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Carlos, for your time. I know
thank you for joining us.
Thank you both. You were great hosts.
Well,
thank you.
We try to be.
We try our best.
We try our best.
I've had a really good time here.
Well, I'm glad.
That I can assure you.
I'm very glad.
Well, Carlos, I just wanted to let you know from both of us that since you've had a really good time, you are more than welcome to be on the show with us anytime. So,
of course.
If you feel like, even later on, like when your demo comes out, if you feel like you would want to talk about your demo or whatever, you're more than welcome to come back.
Yeah, and thank you very much. And, if when the demo or the game comes out, you you want me to be here again, that would be no problem, I think.
Yeah, we'll probably add more people, maybe, like friends of ours that help us do the podcast as well, just to help get, I know it's going to blow their mind anyway. We were supposed to have somebody else with us today,
feedback.
but they had plans, so unfortunately they couldn't join the interview with us, because I know she was kind of looking forward to it, and
then it's next time.
Yeah, there's always next time, and I'll definitely have to let her know. Yeah. So Carlos, I don't know if you've ever listened to any of our episodes, but the way we end our episodes is we have everybody on the count of 3 say "Stay scary."
Could you write it to me on the chat, please?
I can.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. So, let me see if I can find you real quick. God, where can I go to send you a chat? Oh, there it is.
Here.
Skype has changed so much, it's ridiculous. Alright, so let me type this for you. Count of 3. Alright, I just sent you the message.
Okay, stay scary. I hadn't understood it the first time.
Yeah, it's all good. And Carlos, I'll let you start the countdown to 3.
3?
Yep. So okay. 1, 2, 3.
We were alternating. Okay, let's do the countdown.
All right.
3.
Yeah.
2, 1.
Stay scary.